Bro, we thought Rudy went through it last week. I was sitting here thinking, damn, our boy's going through it. This freaking sucks. How could it possibly get worse? And then this woman, Ellen Elise, comes in and damn near tortures our boy. Yo, poor fucking Rudy, dude. A literal temptress right in front of this man, and he can't do nothing about it. There's no justice in the world. God damn, that sucks so freaking bad, dude. Oh, wow, that really sucks. What a fun episode we had today. And we also lead into the next arc that we're going to start in Mushoku Tensei. So let's just hop in and talk about it as we react to Mushoku Tensei Season 2, Episode 4 today. Now, despite the shenanigans that happen in our episode today, it actually starts pretty badass as we see Rudeus and Soldat's party that they formed, or that the party that Soldat invited him into, is going on a quest, and they're wrecking house, man. Rudeus is the true MVP of this team, man. He is really, pushing them forward. He's making everything look easy for them now. But it's here all of a sudden. We get the appearance of a dragon, the one we heard about at the end of last week's episode, and it starts wrecking house. Soldat wants to retreat. They can't handle something like this. This man, Rudius, literally tells everyone, you guys go on ahead. I'll take care of this. Literally runs on this thing's back and tanks a fireball from it. Legitimately looking badass right here. As he, I would say, single-handedly beats this dragon. I don't care what no one else says. Rudeus single-handedly beat this dragon right here. And it is very impressive. And as they're lugging it back into town, we just hear, man, Quagmire, you're really something else, you know? You weren't kidding about traveling the demon continent, were you? And it's here we see Soul actually officially extend an invitation to officially join the party. But Rudeus tells them no. That once he's done here, he's got to move on again because he's still looking for Zenith. Soul might be a bit salty about that, but hey, he's being real with him. And it's here as our boy Rudy's just sitting in the tavern eating a meal. We already see that people are singing exploits of what they just did, singing songs of their adventure. As people say, boring, that sucks, you're ruining the good liquor. And our boy Rudeus is salty, bro. But it's here in this moment, guys, the succubus herself appears as she says, I finally found you, Quagmire Rudeus. As she walks up and tells him, man, I found you kind of quick. You're kind of hard to miss. And within seconds, we can tell this woman is some trouble, bro. As Rudy's just like, what is this? Love at first sight? The hell's going on here? Is she after my body? It has gotten quite manlier lately. And it's here, she wastes no time introducing herself as Ellen Elise Dragonroad. And I used to be in the same party as your father, Paul. Also, I'm a friend of Roxy's. And that immediately interests Rudeus as he says, where's she now? As she tells him, that can wait a little bit. As she quite literally starts feeling our boy up right here. She tells him, I'm surprised. I expected to find more of a child here. As Rudy says, her teasing's not gonna fluster me. I'm not some virgin anymore. But to her, that's basically like saying, oh, challenge accepted. But it's here, teasing aside, more like blue balling, she actually notices Rudeus's pendant that he got from Sylphie and shows him that she has one that's identical to his, albeit in better condition. As she tells Rudy, I've come to bring you good news. And as we transition to our next scene, we actually learn that Ellen Elisa actually knows where Zenith is. that she's in the Labyrinth city of Rappa, near the center of the Bagarit continent, and that traveling there on foot from this location would take them more than a year. As we see, Rudy decides to actually stay here for a bit because according to Ellen Elisa, Zenith is a carefree Labyrinth explorer now, because what else would you be if you separated from your family, I guess? As she tells Rudeus, we had met Roxy while out looking for Paul's family and formed a party with her. The others should have joined Paul and reached Bagarit by now. As Rudy says, I don't know about Paul, but if Roxy's there, I have nothing to worry about. And our next scene is so damn absurd, guys. It's wild that it's just become commonplace for Ellen Elisa to just get railed constantly every morning and for Rudy to be like, oh, hey, what's up? I see you're active again today. And this man is going through it, bro. She's getting screwed in the room next door. And our boy is suffering because he can't do nothing. It's doing nothing to him, but he's got to hear it. Fuck, that sucks so bad. You want to talk about torture? Rubbing salt in the wound, taking a salt rock and just jabbing it into a hole in your gut. They ain't just running trains on her, guys. They got a whole subway system going. Even Soldat is hopped aboard, man. He's ready to go for a ride. And our boy Rudy might just be a tad bit salty about it. Just a smidge. But it's here one day sometime later. We see Ellen Elise actually brings Rudeus a letter as he's training, as it reads, Dear Rudeus Greyrat, greetings, I am Genius, Vice Principal of the Ranoa University of Magic. As Rudy realizes that's where Roxy's alma mater is, where she learned magic. Even here in Ranoa, we hear of your exploits as Quagmire Rudeus. Would you consider honing your magnificent craft still further? Ranoa University of Magic would love to welcome you as a special student. Special students are excused from both lessons and tuition. They may use our libraries and facilities to conduct research as they see fit. And it's here we see that Rudy is a bit skeptical by this, because it does sound too good to be true. As he says, I'm glad someone appreciates my 2 years of hard work. And my magic's kind of plateaued, so I am interested. But I need to find out if it's legit. And as we transition to our next scene, we see our boy Rudy doing just that, as he goes and asks one of Soul's party members who used to study at this school. As Conrad tells him, yeah, the university usually reaches out to people like you who cast strange spells or have tons of mana. When those people get famous later, it makes for very good publicity. As Rudy's just like, well, if that's the case, then this probably isn't a total scam. As Conrad tells him that you might as well at least hear them out. As Rudeus thinks to himself, you know, going to school with Sylphie was my original goal. Little does he know, guys. Haha. As our succubus shows up and literally says, you know, Conrad's got a point. You'd be better off going to school than joining Paul, Rudy. But Rudy insists that bringing his scattered family back together comes first before anything else. But Ellen Elise tells him, you know, Paul's just going to bring him back to Asura anyway. You can just take a trip and visit them when he does. As Rudeus says, aren't you only saying that because you do not want to see Paul? As she's like, exactly, I hate him. But even after that, we see that Rudeus still wants to pass on this invitation. But it's here, as we transition to our next scene, the most important scene of the episode. We see this motherfucker again, the man god. As Rudeus tells him, it's been 2 years, huh? I haven't had one of these dreams in ages, but it doesn't feel as bad as before, I guess. As he tells Rudeus, maybe you're adjusting to it. As Rudy says, I called for you a bunch of times when I was out looking for Zenith. Could you have answered at least once? As he tells him, this ain't easy for me either, you know, my guy. As the man god tells him, man, Isn't it great to know where your mom is, Rudy? As Rudy says, honestly, yeah, I had no idea Roxy was out looking for her too. And I hear she's going to Baggeret too. I can't wait to see her. But it's here the man god starts his shit again as he says, are you sure? Do you want your master to see you all washed up? Like, I mean, think about it. Eris ran out on you, and when you had a good thing going with Sarah, your little guy was useless. Also, your spellcasting is only a little better than it was a few years ago. You practice sword swings every day, but you don't have much to show for it, do you? Sure, you've built some muscle, but can you face Roxy confidently and say you're a student to be proud of? And that's kind of messed up, guys. But he's not exactly wrong. As he adds, isn't this the perfect chance to shape up? As he tells him, go to the University of Magic, and you'll learn more than a common adventurer could ever hope to. As Rudy says, you know, you make this sound like it's no big deal, but is this more of your advice? As he tells him yes, and that he'd better listen this time. As he adds, because if you go to Baggeret, you'll assuredly regret it. A not so subtle warning. But Rudy is naturally still very skeptical of this. This man cannot really be trusted. He can, but he can't. As he says, I want to settle down, but only after I found my whole family. As the man god tells him, hold your horses, man. My real advice is coming now. As he says, Rudeus, enroll in the Ranoa University of Magic and investigate the mass teleportation in Fitoa there. Do this and you shall regain your manly potency and pride. And upon hearing this, Rudy's ready to go like, holy shit, the University of Magic will cure my ED, Lord Man God? Please tell me that's true. But with that, our dream ends. And as our boy Rudy wakes back up, who should be next to him but the succubus herself? As our boy literally has to check and is sad in that, damn, not a peep from my little seal right now. Fuck, man. As she's literally on top of this man, but he doesn't have any reaction. Torture. We gotta go to that university, guys. Just saying. I would have been out the door right then and there. And as we transition to our next scene, it's time to say goodbye. As he tells Soul and his party, thank you guys for everything. As he tells Soul specifically, thank you for everything. I know I haven't been able to repay all you've done for me. As Rudy realizes that, whatever Soul says, he's always been looking out for me these couple years. As of course he denies he's done anything for Rudy. But we all know better. And so do they. As Soul says, whatever. I'm sure we'll have some business over in Ranoa one of these days. And when that happens, let's go drinking and whoring again. Just the two of us. As Rudy's just like, hell yeah. Hopefully with my dick working. And with that, we see Rudeus and Elise start off on their journey. I'm actually surprised she's going with him here, but why not? And it's here as our episode ends. We start getting little teases of what to expect as we go into, I guess, our school arc. As we see that Sylphie and Ariel are at this school now, which will be interesting to say the least. As we see all these other characters that I'm sure will be significant later down the line in our story. And our final shot is Elise and Rudeus arriving at the town where Ranoa Academy is. And with that, our episode ends. And we just had like a really fun kind of episode today, guys. Not fun for Rudeus, of course. This man went through it. But for us, that shit was hilarious. And I really can't wait till we get to our next arc, actually. I can't wait until Rudeus meets back up with Sylphie. That's going to be nice, because these two haven't seen each other since they were children, right? So that's going to be a great scene that I know is going to be pretty emotional, and I can't wait for that. But let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. I'm sure it's a very interesting episode for a lot of you, just like me. So I'd love to hear your opinions on it in the comments. But until next time, guys, I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, have a blessed day, and I will see you guys next time. Deuces.